Subtitle: The Cunning Princess and the Hidden Truth. In the heart of an ancient Nigerian kingdom, a princess once stood on the brink of death, staring into the glowing eyes of a mighty serpent. The beast hissed, its body coiled around her tightly, but instead of screaming or begging for mercy, the princess whispered something so unexpected, so clever, that the serpent loosened its grip. What did she say? That is the tale I am about to tell. A long time ago in the kingdom of Uli, there lived a king with great wealth and power. He ruled wisely and had everything he could ever want, except for a son. The king had only one child, a beautiful daughter named Princess Adaobi. She was not just beautiful, she was also smart and kind, loved by everyone in the kingdom, but her life was not easy. The king, though he loved Adaobi, believed that a son would be stronger and better to rule the kingdom. He often reminded Adaobi, "You are a girl, and girls are not meant to rule. One day, I must find a strong prince to marry you and take over my throne." But Adaobi didn't agree. She believed she was as strong and capable as any man, and she dreamed of one day ruling the kingdom herself. One day, news spread across Uli that the sacred river of Nzu had dried up. This river was no ordinary water source. It was the kingdom's lifeline. Its water was said to be blessed by the gods and brought fertility to the land, crops, and people. Without it, the kingdom faced certain doom. The village elders gathered and told the king, "The gods are angry. They demand a pure sacrifice to restore the river. A maiden of royal blood must be offered to the sacred serpent that guards the river." The king was horrified. The only maiden of royal blood was his daughter, Adaobi. The news reached Adaobi, and she made a decision that shocked everyone. "I will go to the river and face the serpent," she announced. The king begged her to reconsider. "You are my only child. I cannot lose you." But Adaobi stood firm. "If the kingdom perishes, then what good is my life? I will go, but not to die. I will find a way to defeat the serpent." The elders prepared her for the journey. She was given sacred beads, charms, and prayers for protection. Adaobi tied her long braided hair into a bun, adorned herself with the royal coral beads, and set off alone toward the dry riverbed. The path to the river was dark and full of dangers. The villagers whispered that many had tried to approach the sacred serpent before, but none had ever returned. Adaobi walked with courage, her heart pounding, but her mind sharp. When she reached the riverbed, the air was thick and heavy. The ground was cracked, and the trees were twisted and lifeless. In the center of the dry river, a giant serpent appeared. Its scales shimmered like black diamonds, and its eyes glowed like fire. The serpent spoke, its voice deep and menacing. "Why have you come, human? Do you bring a sacrifice?" Adaobi stepped forward, unshaken. "I bring no sacrifice, Great One. I have come to understand why the river has dried." The serpent hissed angrily. "The river dried because your people have angered the gods. They take from the earth without giving back. Now they must pay the price." Adaobi thought carefully. "You are right," she said. "But is it fair to punish the innocent for the greed of a few? Tell me, great serpent, if the gods are just, what do they truly want?" The serpent paused, surprised by her boldness. No one had ever spoken to it this way before. "The gods demand truth," it said. "Truth is the only thing that can restore balance." Adaobi's mind raced. She had heard tales of the gods and their riddles. She realized this was not just a test of bravery, but also of wisdom. She knelt before the serpent and said, "If truth is what the gods demand, then let me share the truth of my heart. I am a princess, but I am not my whole life that I cannot rule because I am a woman, but I know that I can lead with wisdom and strength. This is my truth." The serpent stared at her, its fiery eyes softening. "Your truth is pure, Princess Adaobi. But there is one more truth that must be revealed to restore the river. It lies within your kingdom." Adaobi understood that her journey was not yet over. She bowed to the serpent and promised to uncover the truth it spoke of. The serpent allowed her to leave unharmed, and she returned to the palace to confront her father. When Adaobi told the king what had happened, the elders were alarmed. "What truth could the gods mean?" they asked. Adaobi thought long and hard, then remembered something strange. For years the kingdom's treasury had been overflowing, yet the villagers remained poor. Crops had failed and taxes had risen, but the king's wealth only grew. Adaobi confronted her father. "Father, I have always respected you, but I must ask, where does your wealth come from?" The king hesitated, his face pale. "Why do you ask such questions, Adaobi?" "Because the serpent said there is a truth hidden in this kingdom," she replied. "If we do not uncover it, our people will perish." Finally, the king confessed. "Years ago, I made a deal with a powerful spirit. I gave away a sacred relic from our ancestors in exchange for endless wealth, but I was warned that one day the gods would demand repayment." Adaobi was stunned but did not despair. She asked the king, "What was the relic and where can we find it?" The king revealed that the relic was a golden staff, buried deep beneath the palace. The staff had been a gift from the gods to protect the kingdom. Its removal had angered them and caused the river to dry. Without hesitation, Adaobi ordered the staff to be unearthed. She took it back to the sacred serpent and presented it with humility. "Great one," she said, "we have uncovered the truth. This staff belongs to the gods. Please accept it and restore balance to our land." The serpent coiled around the staff and the earth trembled. Suddenly, water burst forth from the dry riverbed, flowing with life once more. The land began to heal, and the serpent disappeared, leaving behind a peaceful glow. When Adaobi returned to the kingdom, the people hailed her as a hero. The king, moved by her bravery and wisdom, declared her his rightful heir. "You have proven that leadership is not about strength or gender, but about wisdom and courage," he said. From that day on, Princess Adaobi ruled the kingdom with fairness and love. Her story was passed down through generations as a reminder that the truth, no matter how difficult, is the most powerful weapon of all. And so, the kingdom of Uli flourished under the rule of its cunning princess, who had faced a serpent and uncovered the hidden truth.